Hello. Welcome, welcome. How's it going, friend? Welcome to Feedback Friday. It is Art Edition. I'm your host, Jacob. Welcome to the art stream. So, we're going to be doing art today, as one should expect with me. Um, Hello to all in the chat. Chris, yes, you were first indeed, by a good 20 minutes, I think. uh, Hello, hey, La Pasa Arctic. Hi. Um, so we're not doing Easter today, um, although it would make sense if we were kind of, it's the lead up event. Um, what we're actually doing is we've already finished all the Easter artwork. Uh, Honestly, a little while back actually, we've been kind of trying to get well ahead of elements of production, and impressively, where we're at on the permanent content we're working on is almost shocking. Um, got a lot done. It's pretty awesome. So all I can say about that is very cool. Still a ways to go, of course, naturally, but yeah, it's very exciting. Art team has been cracking out some amazing stuff that I'm really excited for you all to see in due time. I'm a little quiet. Wonder what my audio mystery settings are today, because that's just how it goes. Maybe if I just turn the gain up. I'm wondering what device is being picked up. Yeah, it should be Happy St. Patty's Day. Is it today? My goodness. I've lost all track of time. Okay, so I don't want either. Yeah, that should be the correct audio input. I'll turn up the gain. Hopefully I don't destroy anyone's eardrums. How about now? I have a bit of a habit of being able to peak with my voice. A bit of one of those capable of coming out of a theater excited and ricocheting my sound off of several blocks worth of buildings. So that is better. Okay, cool. I'll turn it down just a hair because I just saw it hit the. There you go. I don't know. That's probably fine. I saw it I have the meter and there's kind of the red area where it's you shouldn't be this loud, but I'm trying to keep in just the yellow, green to yellow. Yeah. Okay. There we go. New character. That's right. So today the plan is I want to create a new NPC. So we have Larry, the friendly knight. We have Ronza. We have Big Jack, Mustachio, and a few other kind of side characters like Carl. I don't think we've seen Carl for a good while. He's been a zombie, off doing his own thing, I think. But I would like to create a new character, and honestly, I want to make a ton of them. There's lots of opportunities and reasons for them. But if you are familiar with playing the browser version of MouseHunt, you would probably be quite familiar with the King's Reward. And sorry, I'm a bit to sneeze. Oh, pardon me. You'd probably be quite familiar with the King's Reward, and the recent updates to the Horn, we've kind of changed the actual message box that comes in. And one of the things that we've kind of noticed about the feedback we've received about that, and just kind of our own kind of looking at it and analyzing it, we would like to kind of create different looks for those kind of message boards that show up. So for example, when you're taking on a friend's hunt, that has the same look as if there is an error and the game isn't working, right? It's this kind of like um, very just kind of plain looking color, and it's like, you don't really know. Um, Here, I'll actually pop it up over here. You don't really know what the message behind it is, just at the basic look of it. This is like a very kind of intentionally generic board that can have just kind of, any message behind it. It could be an error, it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. And one of the things we would like to do is kind of like improve the level of feedback through things like adjusting the color and details. So, like, if there is a terrible error, something went horribly wrong and, you can't access data or whatever, right? We want that message box to be like this red, like, wah, wah, something's broken. But for example, when you're taking on a hunt with a friend, that's a good thing. So, we want to like make that a more kind of positive looking message. And then things like when you've purposefully disarmed your cheese, that is like a user's intentional behavior to kind of like pause their horn effectively so they can kind of like travel and set up their stuff without accidentally going on a hunt. So right now it just has like, you're out of cheese, like go to the cheese shop to arm more cheese kind of thing. Um, or maybe it has like a different message box from when you've run out of cheese, but essentially we want those two to have a different look so that like when you return and you don't have anything armed, it lets you know, was this something you did on purpose, or was this, your cheese ran out, you probably need to arm more cheese, or switch your bait or craft new bait. And then, of course, there's the King's Reward message box. Yeah, too familiar with it, I imagine. Many of us are. So one of the things that I think would be a lot of fun, and this is something that Sanha was doing some kind of like mock-ups around, would be kind of like a character presenting you with like the scroll that is like the king's puzzle kind of thing, the king's reward that you need to solve. And instead of it being this kind of like pop-up thing that blocks you from being able to kind of travel and interact with your camp and stuff like that, we want to like make it less like in the way, but like a little nicer looking and more flavorful. So I'm gonna be doing a little bit of touch-ups here and there to kind of like improve the looks of things. And what I would like to try is kind of adding a character as someone who is like coming to you, the hunter, and being like, here is this thing that we need you to solve, and there will be a reward. And then also that character can be used for things like news posts and other moments where, like there's a message for you kind of moment. I think that could be a lot of fun. So how we want this character to kind of be perceived is something we can kind of like try and discuss and mock up. I'm probably not going to do a super long stream today. I've been feeling a little bit kind of under the weather this week and getting a bit exhausted pretty easily, so I don't want to kind of like overdo it. But I think it could be a lot of fun to just kind of like mock up or like, sketch up some different character ideas, see if anything resonates with us. But yeah. Will there be a King's giveaway this year? I do not know where that might be on a roadmap. I think that would be a great question to ask Dave on his Feedback Fridays, though, because he kind of like has a lot more you know understanding of what the roadmaps look like and where we can kind of fit those things and figure that stuff out. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Lady Laura for the Chocolatonium shop. Yeah, she's awesome. All right. Yeah. Yeah, clippy kind of character. Like, part of me is questioning, is this going to become a character that people love to hate, right? Because it's like, oh, this character again getting in my way. Um, you know, mm, the, something inspired from the Riddler from Batman. That's funny. Yeah, just like I have a riddle for you. Can you solve this extremely simple puzzle, Hunter? Yeah, that could be fun. Maggie the King's Messenger, not Clippy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that I like the idea of kind of separating out from Larry and like having this be it like their own character. Um, so yeah, like and I mean this is the concept that I think would make sense would be this would be like a character who is like the king's personal messenger. So, you know, I imagine they probably have, some status like that. Or they're just extremely busy running around chasing down all of the hunters with a massive, like, satchel of scrolls to just be like, here, you too, you too. So, yeah, page makes sense. Yeah. Is this new NPC linked to any existing character in the kingdom? I guess just kind of like the king in a way, like just kind of like being a personal messenger, perhaps, um, or it's just the royal messenger and doesn't have any like specific associations. But I think it'd be fun if there are potential, connections. But I don't know if I want to even kind of like uh, directly claim those things because sometimes the community kind of figuring out these things is a lot of fun. And it makes me think back to kind of like how much stuff is unsaid in all the plank run journal that I've kind of like wanted to go back to. I've actually done some reworking of it and quite a few months back now. Did a bunch of writing with another dev and figured out a whole bunch of stuff. We were even kind of redoing a bunch of pages. Uh, got really busy with the Great Winter Hunt stuff, and then I just haven't had a chance to go back to it since. So hopefully I'll be able to kind of like go back and figure more of that out because there's a lot of stuff and interesting characters, although many of them from a different time. So yeah, the king's treasurer. Yeah, I mean that. I think that makes sense too, because they would actually be giving you the reward as well. Mm. Scroll slinger. Yeah. No, I feel like we can just like today. I'm not going to be illustrating this character, right? Um, I think I want to just kind of like come up with ideas with you all, and just see if anything resonates. But yeah, I don't know. I'm admittedly uh, a little nervous about drawing a human character in front of a live audience. It has legitimately been something I haven't done a lot in recent years. More used to drawing mice for some reason and robots, not so much humans. Um, so I feel like whenever I've done it, I've had a lot of kind of like pushing and pulling and like you know tweaks and just kind of like having to flip it a lot and like really work on it, to kind of like get it to a place where I'm like, yeah, that looks like a good human. Um, so to try and kind of do a full fledged illustration on stream, I'm gonna be like stressed. Uh, but doing sketches and just kind of like really exploring wild character design, I think will be a lot of fun. I think it'll keep the stream relatively short, which would be good for me. And I think we'll definitely come up with something that'll be really neat. And then it'll be exciting for you all to kind of see where that character ended up, kind of like going in terms of illustration. Um, so that's my plan for today. But yeah, so basically, like I think the pose is kind of going to be like one concept, and I mean we can definitely explore different ideas, but mainly kind of like like here is a scroll kind of thing. Like Sun has kind of like really quick mock-up of like a knight holding a scroll, being like, "Yo, what's up?" Is kind of like the general gist. So presenting a scroll, and this works well for multiple things. Like it could be when there's a news post, and instead of having like the Nibbler mouse, for example, we would have, this character being like, "Here's the latest in Gnawnian news," kind of thing. I think that could be quite good. Um, but like, do we want them armored or uh, just kind of like wearing more like a more traditional page outfit? Uh, should they be decked out in like royal, you know, garments? I don't know. One thing that I do know is I would like to kind of like have good representation among the cast of characters. So just trying to kind of like keep that perspective and not kind of like go to default archetypes and such for like who this character might be, because that's just like an internal bias that does naturally happen a lot, and it's good to be kind of self-aware of doing that and to try and kind of like make sure that it's not leaning into just kind of like all the same kind of style of characters and stuff. Like when I first kind of started creating characters, there was like Larry and Mustachio and Carl and like a lot of white dudes basically. So that I think that's something to kind of like make sure that I'm not just kind of only creating that, because I think that diversity and representation are extremely important. Yeah, so this is probably going to be a lot of like, the scribble is terrible and erasing it. Again, humans. How do you paint and draw humans? I don't know. But yeah. Also might be a bit of a rambly one because being a bit of a space case this week. Just a bit. Yeah, I mean the original Gnawnian header illustration. I did try to kind of like give that a go, and I definitely like have been conscious of it as much as possible of all the time, and I think we're not doing a bad job at it, but yeah, it's definitely just something that I'm always kind of like a little extra conscious of, and figured I would mention it to kind of just put that out there. Also, humans have 4 fingers. I mean, technically mice do as well, but not Gnawnian mice. Yeah, and like, how much of the space do I want to fill? And like, I want it to be like a fun character. Um, like my kind of like initial thoughts when I think of like, oh, it would be a fun character for this is definitely things like having kind of like, like a faceless knight with like a ridiculous beard just kind of like bursting out from under it, you know, just like this ridiculous character. Or let's see, I don't know. I had more ideas yesterday when I was kind of like loosely thinking of it, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna have the chat figure it out for me, and then if it's a horrible idea and character, then I can just blame them for giving me that direction. Let's see. I do kind of like a faceless messenger, but like is wearing super cool, like royal armor and stuff. Like lots of swoops and kind of like gold filigree and you know, just spikes. I don't know. Probably not spikes, but yeah, I don't know. Just kind of. This is gonna be one of those streams that if you don't want to just kind of like watch someone warble around and just kind of be like, and like not get a lot done, might not be the stream for you today. Need a backstory for Paige's missing finger? Yeah. But yeah, like Paige the Page, stuff like that I think is fun. Um, I was kind of thinking like, what if elf ears? One of the characters that I have an idea for like a feature that I want to get towards for MouseHunt is actually like a goblin character. Um, just just like very just kind of like creature-y, um, and like very magical. Um, but like we don't really have that kind of existing in the universe necessarily, other than like the mice are very much kind of like these creatures and magical. So I figure like, I don't know, we can have kind of humans also kind of like, or like other sentients and stuff. So that could be fun. But yeah, we haven't like gone in and being like, look, there's orcs and elves and like going that kind of like fantasy route. I don't think that's necessarily the like you know the region that MouseHunt exists in. It's much more on the kind of just whimsy side of fantasy, um, and so yeah, like I think that like a character with elven ears doesn't mean that there are elves as like the archetype, but like just like they're fun features of that person. Um, yeah, no name yet. Although Paige, the Page, could be kind of a cute one. I don't think that I'm gonna give it a name. Um, I think that might be more like the community will give that character a name because y'all do that. Although I suppose that I've given the NPCs all names before, so maybe I should. Um, but yeah, I suppose that depends on who this character ends up being to do that as such. But human mouse hybrid developed in the lab. That could be interesting too. Yeah, and like, should it be a herald? Should it be a page? Big-eared human is similar to a mouse. Yeah, actually, yeah. Like, would would a humanoid kind of like with like big ears, instead of like pointy elf ears, would they instead be more mousy? Dimple chin. Yeah, a very harried male person. Exactly. Yeah, just like exhausted, like, there you are, I've been looking everywhere. Um, I think that could be fun too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. We're just gonna have like a whole bunch of just like scribbles, I think, on this page. And then what I'll do is when I have something that I think is worth kind of like pursuing, I'm actually probably going to break that out into a separate file to kind of like work it at a higher res, because this is actually like full res at this size, and I'm going to want to be able to kind of like detail much closer up, because then I'll be able to use that character in like promotion stuff, on news posts, other things, and where it can be done, it could be useful to have a new character for uh, placing in high res situations. So definitely going to have to bring it to a separate file. Um, yeah, Cliff the mail carrier, just like absolutely just kind of. Just kind of like, oh, I finally found you. Please, I need you to figure. You gotta solve this. It's super important. Oh my gosh. Or just like holding up a giant satchel of messages. Or scrolls. Please help. I mean, technically, if you think about it, one of the purposes of the King's Reward is to kind of like discourage botting, not. Um, I mean, it is actually multi-purposed. For early game, it kind of helps with this kind of like stipend of kind of like, um, if you're running low on gold and like struggling, it can give you kind of like a little bit of a flow of gold. Um, yeah, it essentially is kind of like, hey, are you actually actively playing and not kind of botting it? So like, what if this character is like a bot hunter? You know, just kind of like a bot that is a bot hunter or something ridiculous. I don't know. Just kind of like spitballing. Got the like Cylon eye. Mm-hmm. Purpose is a bit of an antibiotic. So how about a really little, cute, sad droid that's terrified of being replaced? I love that. Yeah, so we either go like full like bulwark of the Ascent character with just like absolutely like ginormous like the actual like scroll should be like this tiny little thing. Just Just kind of like this superimposing mountain. Or yeah, like super cute, tiny little kind of like, hi, please don't replace me. Um, Someone in a rocket-powered wheelchair. That could be fun. I like that. Might be hard to kind of like give a lot of kind of full context for kind of like this frame area, but I think that could be interesting. If we had like more advanced King's Reward puzzles, it's just like, hello, I am the Rubik's spot. Please solve me. Good job. Um, yeah, I think in general, one of the kind of ideas that we would like to kind of pursue in the future would be to kind of put a lot more NPCs. I think I've mentioned this on stream in the past. Um, but yeah, like having kind of like shopkeepers and other characters that you actually see. Though I think like that direction is much more on the kind of 4.0 side. Although there has been some pretty good progress in development of 4.0, which is like another reason why we've kind of like been refocusing things. Like obviously the 15-year birthday is a big deal, but we kind of like ended up deciding to kind of like focus our efforts into permanent content and structuring V4 and other kinds of cool stuff like that. Because honestly, the birthday event needs a big rework, in my opinion. And we just kind of like couldn't figure out how to kind of like get our goals that we really want to done, as well as kind of like trying to really kind of like build a new birthday event that would be worthy of 15 years. So instead, I guess we just kind of were like, we're just gonna like work on, you know, new good content that's gonna stick around instead of an event. So I feel bad about kind of like how kind of like little focus was on the 15-year thing, but you know what? We'll do it for 30. There you go. Go big on that. 20 at least. But yeah. Also, thank you for the Larry link, Michelle. All right. It is the legendary Sir Jacob from the future. You got mail. Yeah. You got missive. Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of cool, fun stuff on the horizon that we're looking at. And this is just kind of like lightly stepping into kind of like putting more characters into your kind of interfaces and interactions with the kind of game systems. Um, so it's a step in that direction, and one that we can actually accomplish in 3.0 instead of having to have 4.0 and rebuilding shops and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. All right, all right. Let's see. Let's see. I kind of like the little droids. Cute. Cute little droid. Um, very like nonchalant, just like, here you go. Here's a scroll. Solve it, please. Perhaps a little too sad. Should be more jovial, probably. Or, I don't know. An animal carrying a scroll of missive? Could be. I think actually starting really low res helps me avoid going too detailed on things. But, yeah. Pretty sure I don't have any reference to work off there, Matt. What if was cat a legendary cat? I kind of don't hate her at all. Let's see. Kind of interesting. Draw a passenger pigeon carrying a scroll. That could also be pretty good. I'm running out of room, so I'll just start a new layer. The royal pigeon. I'm trying to give it like a king's crest or something. Show its royalty. Just a dog with a scroll in its mouth. Please solve this slobbery scroll. The dog just has like a pouch of gold to give you too. I like that, just like look going on. Just like, are you gonna solve this? Come on. I gotta go. I got places to be. Quick. A bulwark cato. I think that one of the things that was, I don't know if we're gonna like look into it right now, but we were talking about like the actual rewards you get from it, like if we need to tweak those. So I don't know what that would involve. I think it's a little more complicated than it seems, though. So I can't speak to if that's something we can deal with. Okay, so I think one of the things that I want to get out of this character is a little bit of multi-purpose. I think that for the most part, yeah, the players who play browser will interact with this character as the King's Reward kind of deliverer. But I think that also it could be good for like news posts and stuff like that. So I also want to like come at it with that angle of like, here's a message to the community kind of idea. So yeah, right now you only get gold. That's right. And I don't believe it scales up. So tiny robot seems good for that. Hello, hello down here. Please, I have a thing to say. I have an announcement. Pigeon and Doberman are on a different page or layer. I was just kind of running out of room, so they are kind of cute. Not so much specifically a Doberman either. I think I'd probably draw it a little differently to create that. Just kind of went for generally meaty dog, bit of jowls. Put the Hermes wings on the tiny robot's head. Wear a knight's helmet. That's a good idea, actually. I like that. Yeah. I think the Hermes wings is a great concept, actually. I also wonder if I should try and kind of like do more than just the portrait in case I need to kind of use this character in different kind of like scenery and like being able to kind of see more of them could be useful. Could have kind of Hermes wings kind of like shoulder pads or something. big flowing cape. Because he's fast. I do like the like satchel over the shoulder thing as well. Just kind of like conveying that message of like bringing this, you know, like a lot of information all over the place. We do have a sample of Larry giving the message. Wherever that is. There we go. This is just kind of a quick mock-up of it. Would be redrawn. But I don't know. I felt like it was a good opportunity to like invent a new character and have more whimsy added to the game, right? So, yeah, I just feel like when we have a space for it, why not? Oop. Actually, it could be nice to have like things like breaking the frame, like an elbow coming over the ledge there and kind of like the bag kind of sticking out. That would be a nice effect. Good smile on this lad. Drone carrying a scroll of missive. I don't think it's too futuristic at all, because when you actually like dig into what exists in MouseHunt, it's way, 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 way like future punk kind of stuff, you know. Yeah. Where do all the mice we catch go? That is quite a question that I cannot answer. Alright. I kind of like him. A fairy NPC delivering a scroll of missive? Could be. Let's see. I think that adding whimsy is a great angle. Of course, in my mind, fairies are like the most chaotic beings that exist. They're like pure mischief. Terrifying. What good news? I don't know about you, but I would definitely not want to be putting signatures on anything this character delivers to me. Oh, what is this? Oh, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Just sign, just sign. It's good. You'll be rewarded. Probably not the face of like important community news posts that we necessarily would want. But I actually quite adore this monstrosity, and the whimsy is good. I've thought about doing voice acting before. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I like looked at some websites where you can kind of like do it, and I just never bothered to like, I guess, try to do a reel for it, and kind of like I've done a little bit of voice acting actually in the Clan O'Connell game, and basically I'm open to it if people have projects that need a voice actor, but yeah, other than just kind of working on little projects here and there, I haven't really pursued it. It's fun though, and like when I play tabletop and stuff, I think it's a good time to break it out. I enjoy playing goblins and such. Yeah. All right. Kind of fun, kind of fun, but like I would be like, this is the character you love to hate. Um, so great for like King's rewards, where like again, potentially, but maybe not the ideal for like news from the kingdom, or maybe it's fine. I'm, I could probably tweak the character to kind of be like that, like lovable, crazy, just energetic creature. And like I kind of like the idea that they just like poof out of thin air and are like, "Hi, I have a thing." Wow. Yeah, it's kind of fun actually. Doesn't quite have the royal messenger feel to it necessarily. But it is not a terrible design. I actually think it's quite fun. Poof. Solve it! Solve it! You got it! Oh my gosh. I did want to have Whimsy. This face absolutely screams Whimsy. Just howling it at the worst hours in the middle of the night. Just Whimsy. But like loud. Yeah. Not bad. It's a contender. But yeah, I think I'll just kind of like sketch a few more. I'd say let's go until 1 and just kind of like see if any are like, oh, that's got to be it. But I actually think quite a few of these have a certain level of potential that I like, and I think I'll actually kind of like bring the cast to the MouseHunt team and kind of like see if any of those kind of like really do resonate for them. Because it's kind of like they may have things that they want this character to kind of like embody, and so like different, you know, perspectives that they'll have. So I would like to kind of like see what they think. Yeah. Yeah, kind of clippy vibes of just like, just pops in and is just like, hi, hi, hi. Which is good and bad, you know. Yeah. All right. What else? What else? Kind of did want to like try out the elven ears a little bit. the most beautiful elven man I can. In a super low res so I can fudge a lot of details because I'm not good at it. Just imagine it's like pink and purple hair. Very like bubblegummy. Or cotton candy? Cotton candy. Kind of got a bit of a judgy look going on, just like, I'm watching you. Too much. Do need those thick eyebrows though. A good thick brow is important. And then the way that they are presenting this scroll, it's like magically floating there. The King's Wizard Messenger. Let's see. How would magic hand? Army's hair clip. Hi, Charlie. You come to say hello? Hi. Usually, she'll like show up first thing when I start my feedback Friday, but I had cereal this morning with milk, and so she was definitely occupying my lap at that time because she is all about that, like, hey, but like, could I get like a little bit of that like milk in the cereal though, because it looks really yummy. Hmm? Good kitty. Very important cat time. Necessary. Yes. Good. She's doing the like little kind of like comfortable claws. Okay. All right. I should probably get back to work. I only have half an hour. I gotta trim your nails. You're getting stuck on me. Yeah, a small little kitty chance. Oh, actually, that'd be cute. But like, okay, so lore-wise, this is a thing, at least canonically for me, with MouseHunt universe, is like cats are things of legend to this world. Um, like how dragons exist in our stories here on Earth, and there are these legendary creatures. In Gnawnia, that's cats. Cats are the dragons of that world. These like mythical, uh, you know, never actually like witnessed in person kind of creatures, right? But like their incredible power and prowess is like relevant, to them, and of that like magnitude. Like dragons would be the ultimate, you powerful creature here if they existed. Cats in Gnawnia would be that, right? So that's kind of the concept. So I don't want to like put a real cat in the game, but I like having statues and emblems of them as these mythical creatures. So that's kind of like my take on it. But yeah. All right. A little cat hoodie? Oh no, that's such a good idea. Kind of like that. Just like a cute little cat hoodie. Kind of jealous of his like connected beardage. I don't got that. Okay. I don't. Okay. I like the idea of a cat hoodie on a character. With this outfit and pose, like I want this to have like a royal kind of vibe, like really kind of put together outfit with like really fancy trim and cuts and stuff like that, right? And kind of like a hoodie attachment to this could maybe work, but like it'd be like down potentially. Okay, you know what? We're duplicating this character because now I want to see him with a hoodie on. Can I And then we can just like put the Hermes kind of iconography on the side of it as well, perhaps. Yeah, it's like now we have like a cat wizard who is delivering messages for the king. I kind of think that is wildly whimsical, you know. All right, let's figure out how to make a hoodie look good. Right, Charlie? Heck, maybe this character's name is Charlie. Eh? Would there be ear holes for his ears in this? This is like almost over the top, kind of like going for a look. I don't know. This is my wizarding outfit. What of it? Yeah, it's got cat ears. They give me. It's like cool dragons on your armor, but like cats, because they're awesome. The Catmancer. Devoted his life to the study of the feline legends. Now they're just going to look like the most comfortable messenger ever. Yeah, just randomly shows up in a hoodie every once in a while. That'd be kind of cute. Yeah, like for the regular kind of like news posts and royal messages, like no, wearing the proper like outfits and royal decree and all that decorum. But like every once in a while, just kind of like, oh, hey, I was looking for you. Here you go. What are you wearing? You know. This is my study robes. Keeps me focused when learning magics. It's like how we have like, you know, the like wizarding hats with like stars and moons and stuff. It's like that, but with like cat ears. Oh no. Well, you know what? Let's try that too. Okay, I think actually I'll go back to this style. And then just try like the cat-eared wizard hat. Because it's fun. All right. And then instead of like little moons, it's like cat paws. Yeah, I think like Mustachio could probably have more interactions. Like one of the things we're looking at doing is kind of like a little bit of a charm update to kind of like clean up some of the like early game kind of charm stuff that's a little bit just kind of not where it needs to be. And I don't know, maybe we can get Mustachio as a part of that, being that he kind of like was the progenitor of charms. Could make sense. Who wants to be a hunter when you can be a cat wizard? Okay, that's a really long ear to like go out past a wizard hat brim. Maybe in this case we'll try dropping the elven ear. There's already enough kind of whimsy with the whole kind of like cat magic. I feel like he would have that kind of like the fishtail braid. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like chunky and it gets kind of thinner. I feel like if he's got all this like cat theme going, probably a braid they would go for. Let's see if I can figure out how to illustrate a fishtail braid. Okay. And this one would cross over here. I could look up reference, you know. Maybe I should look up reference, you know. Yeah, it kind of like meets in the middle more than this. So I want it to like kind of be flat and then like rotate out towards us because it's going to like drape over the shoulder and down. So like would it turn in? No, I think it just rotates and flattens out. Hopefully this is going to work. We'll have kind of like the seam here maybe. Not quite what I was hoping it would look like. Not quite. I think it needs to kind of be more like braided down the center before kind of draping over the shoulder. I'm bad at hair. So there is that. I feel like maybe I need to like pull it into the braid more obviously with like a clip back here or something, and then it can kind of bloom out. I don't know. Just some ideas. Again, this is just kind of like one character concept, and you know, I think I'll run it by the team to see what people really think would be a good kind of fit for what we want this character to deliver. I kind of like the wizarding kind of vibe. Great question. Wondering what characteristics will distinguish the messenger from an eventual cartographer NPC? Yeah, no, I think they'd probably be very different styles of characters. Because like the cartographer might be more kind of like on the engineering, kind of like um, taking measurements and mapping and stuff, like surveying and kind of tools like that. Whereas the messenger is more about kind of like being able to get around, um, and like kind of finding people, delivering stuff to them, which I actually think like a magic user has advantages in terms of being able to just like teleport around kind of thing. So I kind of like this idea of like, you know, a messenger being this like magic kind of wielding, very kind of like brilliant mind. Um, and then like another thing is like the trapsmiths. Like I kind of like the idea of there being a few different versions of each, like in different locations. That's like way bigger picture though. So for now, I think we want to have kind of like, here is the cheese shop person. Here is the trapsmith. But yeah, like I like the idea of like the trapsmith being super kind of like detail oriented, very clever problem solver, like maybe a little mad scientist kind of vibe. And like general store might just be like rugged and like, you know, so yeah, I think we could really actually give any of these characters any kinds of attributes and kind of figure out how to kind of like mix these components to create this kind of like three-dimensional character feel to them. Like instead of like big strong person, you know, as like that's who they are. Like I like having a little bit of depth and kind of like uniqueness and curiosity about them, where there could be a little more behind, you know, what you see kind of feel to them, and like part of it can be through um, stuff like how we do world building and kind of like add layers to kind of like these characters. um, like Larry has some kind of story elements and depth, and like Ronza and like other characters kind of exist for multiple kind of elements and tell different parts of the story. Um, and so I think that like any NPC has that capacity, and I'd like to kind of like bring that more into the kind of like potential of them. So, you know, I'm very much rambling, and I'm not sure what exactly I'm kind of stating with all this, but I think that yeah, there's just like all kinds of potential for any of the characters, and I think when we can figure out ways to kind of like add really cool like just depth to them, I think that's a great thing to accomplish. So I don't know, the like whimsy of a character like this mixed with their purpose and kind of like how they accomplish that, I think there's some interest. Like the whole idea of like, yeah, it could just be a messenger, or it could be a cat wizard messenger. Like that's weird and fun. And also a cat wizard would probably have like a bell. First of all, to kind of like, you know, like announce like suddenly they're here. Um, but also it's like droopy and like you if you were a cat you'd want to like swat at it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Picturing a frazzled messenger with dozens of pencils, quills behind the ears, trying to deliver an untold number of messages across the kingdom. That's actually kind of the vibe that one of the Larry messages has, where it's like there are too many like requests and the server is overloaded, and like Larry is just like, "Ah," and there's stacks of papers, kind of like that. That could be fun though. It's is like yeah, like the frazzled messenger. Um, So this one's like kind of more like fun-loving, competent, uh, and like delivers good news kind of vibes. So I like him. Um, but yeah, I don't know if we want to go as far into the whimsy as like yeah, cat wizard. Because it's like I don't know, like you're not. Let's say you show up to the game early on, you're not really sure what's going on. You have these like uh, you're sounding the horn, you're catching these mice, and then like cat wizard. Maybe that's a good thing actually. I feel like maybe you'd be like a little bit kind of like, whoa, what is this world? It's so weird. That could be good. I think for the hoodie as well. I don't want the ear there. I think that feels a little more. But like this character here, although fun and cute, I don't feel like that's necessarily a royal messenger, right? Um, Still not really royal messenger. Like maybe I went too far with like the cat paw wizard hat, to be honest. Maybe this whole like cat magic is a thing in the kind of like who this character is canonically, and like we can add a little detail somewhere to kind of like give that idea, but like maybe we don't hammer it on the head quite so hard, and so like it could be okay. It's like, did I get rid of the original one? Um, like this feels more like yeah, this could be like a regal kind of royal messenger, and like having like cute little cat details somewhere could be a way to kind of like give that little extra depth to the character that you don't necessarily even notice um, right off the bat. But yeah. There is also always this thing, this wonderful creation creature. Yeah. I feel like the king didn't want to like hire this being, and it's more like, oh, uh, yeah, I have something to keep you busy. Yes, okay. Go and find every single hunter and give them here's like a whole bunch of gold. Just take it and go find them and just keep finding them. And once you've found them all, find them all again and just keep doing that. And that will be so helpful. Thank you, Greblin. The the very loud. You know. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was thinking, yeah, literally like a cat paw as a cufflink would be such a good idea. I had that exact thought, and I think that's great. So let's kind of give like a little cat paw cufflink. And like, I don't know, we can definitely kind of like work different details, but like this character feels a little more kind of, you know, could be in the royal courts, could be like, I have an important message to deliver you, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at with this character, I think. But like, I like all this alternate exploration. Also, cute smile. I think I'll grab that. Just copy that. Yeah. Well, it is 1 o'clock. All right. So, being that I'm keeping this stream short, and we've gone through a number of different designs, and I have a few other things I want to wrap up off stream. I think I'll wrap up the stream now, and we'll look through all the kind of scribbles and sketches we'd come up with, and just kind of like go back to kind of like what was the goal today, and just kind of do a little bit of drop that face there. Okay. So basically, the plan for today was to kind of basically come up with a new non-player character, NPC, to be the king's missive, who goes to the hunters, goes around the kingdom, delivering royal messages. And the place where you would end up seeing this character the most is if you play browser. You would get the king's reward, which is just like a CAPTCHA puzzle thing that you do, and that's just an element of browser. And instead of repurposing Larry, you know, I feel like this is a great opportunity to create a new whimsical character to add to the universe and just kind of give it more kind of like, you know, depth and uniqueness and different characters and stuff like that. Before we say bye to Larry, I have a message from Larry to you all that I will share now that it is near the end of the stream. Let me just grab the link, copy and pasting into the chat. Will the character show up on mobile? The character won't show up on mobile for King's Rewards because those aren't a thing on mobile. But I think that we will have this character showing up in things like news posts and other things where it would make sense to like have a character delivering a royal message to people. So I'm really hoping to kind of like give this character more space to kind of like be involved in the universe and stuff like that. So I believe that, yeah, you will see this character on mobile, just not like every day showing up being like, here's 1,000 gold, bye. So yeah, that's just where that's at. So we did kind of like just run around exploring all kinds of different ideas. There's like the like so bearded that, you know, like the fully covered knight just has beard bursting out of the helmet. I think it's fun. Not necessarily like the direction I want to go for this character, but like I think that would be a great character at some point. Like the general store, but like the knight helmet doesn't quite work for that, I suppose, but we'll see. Had the idea of like a bulwark of a bot hunter kind of character where it's like I am determining if you are a true hunter or a bot, and I will destroy you kind of vibes, and that's fun. Less so like here's a news post kind of like you must read this now kind of vibe, which is also fun, kind of whimsical. Just did a very kind of like fancy, princely, kind of cute character there. I have like a very stressed out Paige who is just like exhausted, running around, chasing everybody down, being like, "You have to here's a message for you. Okay, I gotta go." A very cute droid of just like, "Please solve this puzzle and like don't replace me with your bots, please. Thanks." Which could be cute. I like this just because it's like this idea of like an automated kind of character just constantly going around finding people and giving them messages. Have just kind of like a fairly generic character that's just like, here you go. Didn't really explore it too much. There's a lot of kind of like different kind of characteristics and stuff that could be kind of figured out to add that depth and whimsy, but just kind of like a fun, silly, like just like kind of look. This kind of like very much like in charge kind of vibe going, just like, here, I need you to solve this. I have to go. Kind of just like got business to attend to, and like very royal feeling, which is also cool. Definitely feels like a king's messenger right here. So I think she's got that vibe. Um, what is your purpose? To serve scrolls. Yeah. And then we have like a messenger pigeon, which I think is pretty darn adorable. And we also have slobbery scroll dog, also adorable. These are pretty fun and very whimsical, and I think they would go well if they kind of like fit the vibes of the messaging. Um, like, I guess the king's reward is like, like you must claim the king's reward before the hunt can continue. Solve. It's not necessarily that it has to be like the character saying this message to you. So like just like this like animal that doesn't speak shows up and like drops this at your feet, and it's like, oh yeah, I guess I gotta solve this. It kind of works. I think it's cute. Have like little kind of crown kind of collar and stuff like that, or like a little royal kind of vestige or something like that. And then we have this guy. I think that he's got like a nice charm to him. A good smile is quite nice, and I think he'd be a fun kind of addition to the cast. Got the Hermes symbols to kind of like, give that message of like he's like running around all over the place really quickly and just kind of like delivering missives, and I think that's awesome. And we kind of like spent the rest of the stream kind of like exploring this character's potential here. I think he's neat. Got like some fun whimsy and like a bit of character development. I think Charlie as a name was pretty good actually, just because Charlie decided to show up and just kind of like steal the show and make it into a cat wizard. So cat wizards, I think they're fun. But yeah, like I think with the cat wizard vibe, it may be harder to kind of deliver that royal message if it's not kind of like figured out how to make him look like more kind of regal with the wizardy goodness. But like I think something like this, there's still like this royal kind of like kind of look. I think I'll try the braid thing again to kind of like make that look good. But then this magical kind of like poof is like a great element of like, oh yeah, wizard or magic user. Also can kind of like give some idea around kind of like, how does this character actually like accomplish this job of finding everyone all the time? Like Larry travels with you, right? Larry hangs around. That's why Larry is around. This character literally has to like zip around and kind of find everybody. So like magic is a great explanation of that. And then the kind of whole kind of like little kind of cat magic thing is just a fun little detail we have. And then we can kind of do things like add these little details to kind of like put that message inside of it and add our own little whimsy layer. So that's fun. And then, of course, we have Gerblin, um, who everybody loves. And yeah, they have a message for you. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. I know it's a short one for me, um, but yeah, I gotta kind of jump off and do other stuff. But I am excited to share some of these characters with the team, see what they think, see if they like any of the directions. It's possible that the next stream I do, we could end up kind of like illustrating the character, maybe. But I'm not sure what I'll be illustrating next feedback art edition. But next week should probably be Dave. If it's not, I'll see you then. Um, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that I explored stuff that you enjoyed and liked, and you know, yeah. If you have any other ideas for like great characters that you would like to see, I'm always open to kind of hearing about them. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you all next time. So thank you for hanging out. I always appreciate it. Lots of great input, lots of great ideas. I shall see you all next time. So until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and happy hunting, everyone. I'll catch you all later. Bye.